Prince made one amazing movie, and this is not it. We saw Under the Cherry Moon, so you know what that means.
How did Schwarzenegger grow a baby in his belly, rock a rhinestone vest while ripping Justin to Kelly, or maybe see a burlesque show with Nick Crow and take a boat with speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul in the beautiful June, gonna take you from the goob all the way to the room. Ran the games of Street Fighter, helped to blow off steam, just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Sharknado, the birdemic, how we staying alive. They call it in the badass and he's on the line, cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice, cause a bad Jim Varney looking kinda nice. Paul and June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They judge a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made? That's a good look, Haru.
What's that smell?
Hey everybody, welcome to How Did This Get Made Matinee Monday. I'm your host, Tall John Scheer, aka Paul Scheer, and this is a chance for us to go back into the How Did This Get Made catalog to look at some classic How Did This Get Made episodes, and this is one of my favorites, Prince's Under the Cherry Moon. Now, here's my thing. If you didn't know Prince, right, if you had no idea that he was one of the best songwriters, sexy people in the world, this movie might appear to you like, I don't know, a more artistic version of Tommy Wiseau's The Room. I mean, this movie is batshit crazy. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it super real, or is it just like insane world? I mean, in a matter of fact, Prince kind of creates a world that feels like Pee-wee Herman's Big Adventure. I mean, they both are kind of like man children, albeit Prince a lot sexier. And by the way, for a sexy man, Prince, when he finally gets his kiss on, it is the least sexy scene in this movie. I don't know what, I'm waiting for the sex. And then when I get to the sex, not good. Not good at all. By the way, this movie is worth watching. Prince does a duet with an answering machine. The movie looks like it's beautiful and colorful. However, it is shot in black and white. It takes place in France in present day. It feels like it's in the past. Some people are American, some people are French, and some people speak American with a French accent. So I'm a little confused about what is going on. We break this down and we really get into the nitty-gritty of the odd beauty of Prince and Under the Cherry Moon. Take a listen. And I mean, and just to talk a little bit about the French and the mixing of accents, one of my favorite moments, oh my God, was when you see him walk through the courtyard with these kids. He takes their soccer ball, bounces it like a basketball. I'm fine with that. But when he goes to the flower stand and he goes up to the woman and he's like, what do you want? And the woman says, oh, I don't know. It's so hard for me to decide. By the way, it's a French market. She's speaking English. Fine. But then you think he's going to interpret for her, like, oh, you can't describe what you want. I'll do it for you. And then she says, I don't know which one I want. And then he just turns to the French salesperson and goes, like doesn't
and walks away.
Doesn't say day, walks away, but doesn't even attempt French. He just goes, It's like, this is beyond. Like
it is. He's one of the most charismatic screen presences in any way, shape, and form. He is electric to watch, right? But
yeah.
Over and over and over again, I was shocked when I was looking at it and being like, I'm not sure he knows how to kiss.
Well,
the kissing was weird.
It was very weird. I think all of the sort of passion was weird, and
oh yeah,
you know, all of the passion,
oh yeah.
all of the performance of passion was so odd, and that was, for me, that was the only disappointment of seeing Prince in these like passionate scenes and it feeling so very wrong.
So it feeling like really, because I'll be honest, that is the thing that shocked me about this, because I think of Prince as Prince is, you know, curated persona was raw sexuality. You know, the ass cheeks of his pants cut out on the whatever it was, the MTV Awards or whatever that was, or just the overt sexuality. Like one of the first people who is making overtly sexual music that is for a mainstream audience, like truly, like Darling Nikki, like songs that are about sex that are played on the radio. Like
isn't that why like parental guidelines were put on records?
I think that's one of the reasons. Yes.
Yeah. Specifically because of his records.
So for the fact that like the sex scene between he and Kristen Scott Thomas, their sex scene in the grotto or whatever it's called.
Oh my God.
It just cuts between them awkwardly kissing, candles, fingers entwined, candles, fingers entwined, awkwardly kissing. That's the sex scene.
But when the best shot of that, and again, the princiest of Prince shots, is the camera lingers on Kristen Scott Thomas's hand, and then is superimposed in her hand is the two of them like having sex. Like the hand, I mean, it's an insane shot. I love it. But I do feel that while he doesn't know how to kiss, he's got sex appeal. And I would argue that the relationship or the sexual relationship between Tricky and Christopher Tracy, that's
they have their chemistry.
Now their chemistry.
Yeah.
I could talk about this relationship for hours.
But here's the thing, and that's why I don't think, Jason, that this could be The Room if we didn't know who Prince was, because there's something about this movie and the relationships and what they're going for. Like this movie is realized and fully itself and living out loud, and it is millennial in its sense of taking up space and feeling entitled to itself. And I appreciate that about it. And I do think that they are creating these relationships on screen that are confusing, that I've never seen before, that are fascinating to watch.
What was very interesting to me was, and I think, again, Prince is a genius, and there is a lot of attempts at genius within this, because Prince inside of this movie is using a lot of the tropes and archetypal relationships that exist in film noir and that exist in screwball comedy. He's kind of, ping-ponging between those two things over and over and over again. And as a result, a lot of the fluidity and a lot of the relationships are upending versions of those relationships. Like Prince treats himself like the femme fatale in a film noir.
Yes.
The shots linger on Prince. They don't linger on the women in the movie. They linger on Prince. Like the first shot is of Prince lying down. It like the camera like slowly pans up, focusing on his ass, moving up his body. Like the camera drinks in Prince in this fascinating way.
Oh yeah.
And the refusal to define he and Tricky's relationship in a way that is, they are these male gigolos who are hustling women. They are American. I'm correct, right? They are American gigolos.
They're American gigolos
Hustling women in France, right?
Yes. I thought this movie was going to be more of a Casablanca in the beginning. Like it felt like he was going to be our Rick, but he doesn't own a club. He kind of just jumps around from club to club playing piano, because I don't even think that club in the daytime where they're dancing is the same club that he was at night in the beginning of the film, where he's getting too many notes. I mean, how many notes are being written in that first scene?
The notes was making me laugh so hard, because I also was like, before the notes start arriving before we understand the story.
Yes.
So I'm like, why is he getting all these romance notes from this guy back here?
Yeah, it's like they are trying to set up so much, and it's like, do it the eyes. The rent is due. Here's my other point. The beginning of the movie looks like it's going to be in the past. I believe, again, I'm putting this Casablanca element to it, old school Hollywood. This movie takes place in present day.
Yeah.
It is not, and it has no reason to be black and white. And I would argue it should never have been black and white, because I want to see these fucking outfits. I want to see what these people look like.
They keep referring to colors. Like
Yeah.
they keep should I wear the blue or the gold? You know, like there's a lot of stuff in the movie that is color specific, and there's something about, because Prince is such a, Prince is synonymous with the color purple, the color purple, not the color purple. So color is such a specific thing that he has chosen to kind of live inside of and choose to represent himself with this, this single color for so many years. So it was so odd that he chose black and white, but I was like, this is an homage. This is his attempt to live inside of those movies. You know?
But I think what he made the mistake of is like, he didn't play into the noir. Like he basically,
Agree.
Prince should be seen in color. Like
Absolutely.
that, if anything I know about Prince, it's like you need to see him, and I wanted to see more of him. And I actually think it dulls the movie in a way, because it is kind of beautifully shot. And the camera is insane.
It is not beautifully
It's
shot.
not beautifully shot.
The camera
is moving.
movement was making me nauseous at times.
The camera movement is like
the scene where the camera is just revolving 360 around the restaurant. I legitimately had to pause it because I got nauseous. It's like I was like, the camera movement is too fast.
All right, so you make your decision. Is Pee Wee Herman a version of Prince? Is Prince a version of Pee Wee Herman? I feel even guilty saying that because Prince is a genius. But anyway, if you want to see How Did This Get Made live, come check us out on the road. We're at hdtgm.com. You'll see wherever we're playing right now. We're going to be going all around, well, not all around, but just up the middle of the country on our summer tour. So check that out. And if you want to hear all these episodes of How Did This Get Made commercial free, you can sign up for Stitcher or just listen to us every week and tell your friends. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please make sure you follow us. It's important. And while you're here, follow this YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. This is the only place you're going to get How Did This Get Made stuff. So, without any further ado, we'll see you next week for Matinee Monday.